Hello, my name is Moses Aprildo Jericho Sitinjak from 6IC Management. Today, I will explain about buying decision process. Let's get started. The purchase decision process is the series of steps a buyer takes before purchasing a product or service. It is commonly split into 5 stages: problem recognition, information search, evaluation of alternatives, purchase decision, and post-purchase behavior. This method exists to help consumers make informed decisions that best match their requirements, interests, and budgets while reducing risks. Businesses use this method to influence purchasing decisions, improve marketing strategies, and increase consumer happiness. The individual perspective on decision-making explains how personal factors such as values, experiences, emotions, and cognitive biases influence a person's decisions. Each person analyzes information differently depending on their beliefs, previous experiences, and risk tolerance, resulting in various decision-making styles. This perspective is crucial because it explains why people react differently to the same scenario and how personal judgment influences everyday actions, ranging from simple choices to complicated problem solving. There is types of individual perspective on decisions making: extended, habitual, and limited problem solving. Extended decision-making, cognitive decision-making. Decisions involving extended problem-solving correspond most closely to the traditional cognitive decision-making perspective. Extended problem-solving occurs when individuals invest significant time and effort into making a decision, typically for high-involvement purchases or complex problems. This process involves thorough research, comparison of alternatives, and careful consideration of risks and benefits. It is common for expensive or important purchases, such as buying a house or choosing a university, where the decision has long-term consequences. Habitual decision-making. Habitual decision-making happens when individuals make choices automatically, with little to no thought or research. These decisions are based on routine, habit, or brand loyalty, requiring minimal effort. Examples include purchasing the same brand of toothpaste or coffee out of familiarity rather than actively comparing alternatives. Since the decision is low risk and repetitive, people rely on past experiences rather than engaging in extensive evaluation. Limited decision-making. Limited problem-solving falls between extended and habitual decision-making, where individuals engage in some evaluation but do not conduct an in-depth analysis. This occurs when the decision is somewhat important but does not require extensive research. For example, when choosing a new restaurant or a different brand of shampoo, consumers may consider a few options based on price, convenience, or recommendations before making a quick decision. A typical decision involves several steps, beginning with problem recognition, when we realize we must take action. This recognition may arise due to a malfunctioning possession or a desire for something new. Once a consumer identifies a problem and deems it important enough to act on, they initiate the information search process. This search can range from recalling past solutions to conducting extensive research using various sources. The Internet has transformed how we gather information, shifting the challenge from finding details to filtering excess information. Comparative search sites, intelligent agents, and cybermediaries like web portals help simplify this process. In the evaluation of alternative stage, the consumer considers a set of options, known as the evoked set, which typically share similar characteristics. How a person mentally categorizes products influences their decision, often favoring brands that are more prototypical of a category. Finally, when selecting a product, the consumer applies decision rules, such as non-compensatory rules, which eliminate alternatives that fail to meet specific criteria. Once the consumer makes a choice, he or she engages in post-purchase evaluation to determine whether it was good or bad, and this assessment in turn influences the process the next time the problem occurs. Problem recognition occurs when we experience a significant difference between our current state of affairs and some desired or ideal state. We realize that to get from here to there, we need to solve a problem, which may be large or small, simple or complex. This recognition can be triggered by various factors, such as a product malfunction, a change in personal circumstances, or exposure to new information that creates a sense of need or desire. No problem state, a person does not perceive any gap between their current situation and an ideal state, meaning there is no immediate need or desire to make a change. Opportunity recognition occurs when a person realizes they can improve their current state, even if there is no pressing problem. This happens when consumers identify a new possibility that enhances their lifestyle or experience. Need recognition happens when a person identifies an actual problem or deficiency that must be addressed. This occurs when something essential is missing, broken, or no longer meets expectations. Once a problem has been recognized, consumers need adequate information to resolve it. Information search is the process by which the consumer surveys their environment for appropriate data to make a reasonable decision. There is types of information search: 1. Pre-purchase search and ongoing search. 2. Internal versus external search. 3. Online search. 4. Perceived risk. Evaluation of alternatives is the stage in the buying decision process where consumers compare different product options to determine the best choice that meets their needs and preferences. After gathering information, consumers assess various attributes such as price, quality, features, brand reputation, and customer reviews. They mentally categorize products into an evoked set, considered options, an inert set, neutral options, and an inept set, unacceptable options. Consumers may use decision rules, such as compensatory rules, weighing pros and cons, or non-compensatory rules, eliminating options that lack certain key attributes. This step helps narrow down choices, guiding consumers toward their final purchase decision. The evoked set consists of the brands or products that a consumer actively considers when making a purchase decision. These are the options that come to mind easily due to past experiences, marketing efforts, or word-of-mouth recommendations. Consumers are likely to choose from this set because they see these brands as acceptable and relevant to their needs. For example, when buying a smartphone, a person may have a few preferred brands in mind based on prior knowledge and research. The inert set includes brands or products that a consumer is aware of but feels neutral about. These options do not evoke strong positive or negative feelings, and the consumer may not actively consider them unless given additional information or incentives. A brand in the inert set can move to the evoked set if a consumer encounters persuasive marketing, recommendations, or promotional offers that highlight its benefits. For instance, if someone is looking for a new laptop but has no opinion about a certain brand, a well-placed advertisement or a friend's recommendation may bring it into consideration. The inept set consists of brands or products that a consumer rejects due to past negative experiences, poor reviews, or a lack of desirable features. These options are perceived as unacceptable and are not considered during the decision-making process. A product may fall into the inept set due to factors such as low quality, bad customer service, or negative associations. For example, if a person previously had a bad experience with a particular airline, they might automatically exclude it when booking future flights, even if the price is competitive. Once we assemble and evaluate the relevant options in a category, we have to choose one. Recall that the decision rules guiding choice can range from very simple and quick strategies to complicated processes requiring much attention and cognitive processing. The choice can be influenced by integrating information from sources such as prior experience with the product or a similar one, information present at the time of purchase, and beliefs about the brands that have been created by advertising. Post-purchase evaluation occurs when we experience the product or service we selected and decide whether it meets, or maybe even exceeds, our expectations. Consumer satisfaction or dissatisfaction after a purchase significantly influences future buying behavior. If a product fails to meet expectations, it becomes difficult to sell it again to the same customer. Post-purchase experiences shape overall satisfaction, affecting repeat purchases and brand loyalty. While customer satisfaction is declining in many industries, successful marketers identify and address sources of dissatisfaction to improve their products. Studies show that higher product quality leads to greater customer satisfaction, which ultimately enhances a company's profitability. Consumers seek quality and value in products, but these concepts are subjective and influenced by factors like brand reputation, price, warranties, and advertising. Satisfaction is not only based on the purchased product but also on expectations of alternatives that were not chosen. Higher expectations for unselected options can lower satisfaction with the chosen one. Measuring satisfaction is complex because consumer goals and product evaluations vary. Research suggests that consumer expectations and personal involvement play a key role in shaping satisfaction levels. Thank you for listening, hope you have a good day.